with me, Lord.
And the meeting arose out of, it was generated by a report that Ms. Montgomery sent me, Jeff Montgomery sent me, on the study that is presently going on concerning the management plan for Delaware Bay beaches. And there was a recent executive summary that was issued in early September, a couple of weeks ago, in fact. In any event, that study is considering the needs of community beaches, 7 community beaches, starting at Broadkill and coming up through to Pickering Beach, which are all south of where I am at Woodland Beach. Woodland Beach would be the 8th beach if they were considering it. Unfortunately, or seemingly unfortunately, it was not considered. What we're interested in is getting some input into what they're doing with respect to these other 7 beach communities. This is a beach community. It was acquired by the state of Delaware from a private owner, that is the whole beach, back in 1959, at a price of $60,000. So we are a community that actually resides on or in a state park, and we are adjacent to a very precious state wetlands called the Woodland Beach Preserve. So this community is right in the middle of an ongoing state preserve with a vast acreage of waterlands, marsh waterlands, and we are right smack on Delaware Bay. The issues that we talked about were primarily with respect to the need for an access road, since we are actually, physically, we are an island affected by tides, and there's a causeway of about a mile that we need to cross to get out here and to get into town, to have emergency vehicles come through, school buses, etc. That's covered by water when at high tides. And the water coverage becomes increasingly worse as the full moon times, and is at its worst, of course, at a storm, when the island or Woodland Beach would be inaccessible for hours, if not days, due to the nature of the causeway as it has been constructed. Right now, it is simply on a system of piles. I'm not a scientist, so I can't say beyond that, but in any event, it is there's a soft undercover for it that causes the road to sink gradually and tilt. It needs a modern, state-of-the-art causeway to be constructed, and so that the people who live here on a day-to-day basis can get through safely as things are needed. That is a primary concern. We also have a concern about having no sewerage out here, even though this is a state facility, and the state has, as far as high as the governor's office has identified the sewerage as being, particularly in these areas affecting the wetlands, as being a very serious concern for all, both for health and for the ecology. And so we had this Q&A with some, certainly with Ms. Montgomery, who seems very interested in the subject. And we met for about 2 hours, discussed those topics that I've mentioned, as well as other interesting developments. The attention or the lack of attention that's paid to Woodland Beach, on an outreach basis, as opposed to responses to concerns that as we expressed them, and we noted the fact that we were not happy with the situation where we were not notified of this ongoing management plan for Delaware Bay beaches, and we certainly were not asked in any way to participate, and our input was not requested. In fact, our community was not even considered, is not being considered. And we're hopeful that this event today, this meeting with Mr. Montgomery and the services of a wonderful photographic journalist, will assist us, will help us to move forward and getting more recognition for this marvelous community.
Walk with me now. Walk with me. All along this tear's journey, won't you walk with me? Take my hand, Lord. Take my hand, Lord. All along this tedious journey, won't you take